Down the Scott Autobahn they come. Onto the inside. Here goes, oh, and Chad Reed messes, and he stops him. Chad Reed goes down. They're stuck together. Stewart can't get his bike on. There he goes. Chad Reed, an unforced error, and he just gave the lead back to James Stewart. James Stewart went on from that pass to claim his 5th overall win and open a commanding 55-point lead in the 125 National Championship battle. Now the hallowed grounds of Unadilla await the championship leader as Bubba Stewart makes his first ever visit to upstate New York. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Unadilla Valley Sports Center in New Berlin, New York for the 8th round of the 2002 AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championships. Hello, everyone. I'm Davey Coombs. Joining me is former champion David Bailey and Cameron Steele. And do we have a good one for you this afternoon? It's Unadilla, and that means old-fashioned GP motocross, exactly what Chad Reed needs if he's going to catch up with James Stewart. In the point standings right now, Stewart is 55 ahead, but everyone thinks this track favors Reed. Earlier, Cameron Steele asked James about that.
Well, guys, I've caught up with the 125cc points leader, James Stewart, and Unadilla has no amateur racing. So, James, you've never raced here before. Tell us a little bit about the track and what you expect from this race.
Definitely, the track's really fast, and I like it. I'm feeling really good in practice. I think about 3 seconds a lap faster than everybody else. And, you know, the track's a bit rocky, and I just got to get a good start, and I'm feeling good. I don't think nobody can beat me today.
Well, hopefully not on your case, but a lot of people were saying at the beginning of the season, James Stewart has a tendency to go too fast and fall down. You're chasing the championship now. You're in the lead. Have you changed your riding, or are you riding the same way?
Nah, definitely. I can't change my riding because that's when you start making mistakes, when you start to be a little bit conservative and those guys catch up on you. You know, my main focus is to win every moto, and so far here on out, and you know, hopefully I can just keep that points lead going on and not take too many big chances, but I can, slack off any.
Right on. Well, James Stewart looking for his 4th big win in a row. We'll see if he can do it again today here in Unadilla.
Well, David Bailey, some of us so-called experts thought it would be Chad Reed's kind of track, but obviously no one told Bubba.
Well, the thing about the track for him is he just loves to ride motorcycles and race motorcycles. I don't care if they're on 50s out in the driveway. He'd still want to win. He'd still probably put 2 seconds on everybody. And taking a look at the Suzuki track map, a brand new track for Chad Reed and James Stewart. They're both anxious to get out there. And right off the start, they come around and drop into Gravity Cavity, a great section that's been there all these years, up into the sweeper, the plunge, a big ski jump down the hill into the Sky Shot Plateau. That is one of the new sections they added a few years ago. To the wall, probably the steepest hill on all of the national circuit. Both these guys are ready to go at each other.
Taking a look at our Suzuki starting lineup, 3 veterans at the top of the board. Larry Ward, Brock Sellers, and Damon Huffman. The red-hot Brandon Jesseman. Keep an eye out for Matt Walker. He's been picking up the pace lately. Chad Reed will be number 103, and 104, Shea Bentley, back in action after a long layoff. And, of course, they will be all looking for number 259, James Stewart. And don't forget about Ben Townley from New Zealand, back for one more race. The card is sideways, and they are getting ready to blast off up the long grass start. Here they come, and it looks like it's going to be right up through the middle. Stewart already asserting himself. He gets the whole shot out toward the hay bales. Right behind him, Chad Reed. This is the race we've been waiting for. Stewart, Reed, Eric Sorby, and it looks like Ernesto Fonseca in 4th.
This is what Reed wanted. He'd probably rather be in front of Stewart right now, but at least he's got him right there in his sights. Nobody in between him to interrupt him, although Sorby's trying hard.
Sorby leans in a little bit. This is what we had at Kenworthy's last week until Chad Reed fell over. You saw at the top of the show. And this time he's in danger of James Stewart getting away. And just like that, Eric Sorby makes a surprise pass. So it's 2 Kawasaki's up front, then number 103, Reed. In 4th place, that is number 50, Casey Johnson. Here's Stewart off the start.
A little anxious, trying to jump that gate, trying to anticipate when he thought it would go. They obviously held it a little longer than he thought. And it didn't look like he had the whole shot for sure coming into the corner, but he didn't let off. He left it on the longest, and of course he had to drift all the way wide. You see how hard it is to see when you're that far back in the pack. Now, this isn't the fault of the promoters or anything. It's just the nature of outdoor racing. When you got 39 guys or 30 or so ahead of you, it's pretty tough to pick your way through that dust that kicks up early on.
And a couple riders down in a big pile up. You see David Pingree, one of them, and Jeff Gibson. Now, this is the pass Sorby made on Reed.
Well, he jumped out of that gravity cavity about 15 feet farther. He hit it hard, went all the way around the outside. Of course, that puts him on the inside of the next corner. I've been saying that a lot this year, but that has become a very popular way to pass.
Now, Reed trying to make the pass again. You just saw Stewart leave the picture. Sorby, the Frenchman, in second. The Australian Reed on the four-stroke is third. Coming down toward the tabletop, Reed tries an outside line. Sorby on the inside. He's going to go inside out. No, he goes right around the outside, and Reed gets second place back. Sorby's going to try and make a pass back. Down on the inside, it's a horsepower battle, and Reed's going to win that fight. Then comes number 50, Casey Johnson, the best we've seen him start so far in the Outdoor Nationals on the Plano Honda. A little ways back is Ernesto Fonseca, and yes, he's got a rock guard, chest protector, everything on, and that's Brandon Jesseman right next to him.
Rocks, even in this 125 class, kicking up. They're about baseball size here and there. All those little white specks out there. Every time you get hit with one of those, man, you know it. Messes with your concentration a little bit. And I've gotten hit in the goggles before and knocked the lens out of them. So you got to stay clear of the roost in front of you.
Fonseca on the factory Honda trying to out-jump the Plano Honda. He tries to go inside here, coming down before. This is the corner before the sky shot jump. They go inside out again. This time Fonseca makes the pass, moves into fourth. And there they launch out above the crowd, down into the fastest part of the track, through the infield, up this sweeper. And now Jesseman is starting to attack Casey Johnson as well.
And Davey, I talked about the tracks being a little bit smooth. It will get rougher in this moto, and in their second moto, it'll be even rougher still. But right now, it's just wide open. Everyone's running pretty much the same pace.
Down off the wall they come, back up the other side. Here comes Fonseca around the outside, and he puts the gas in, and Casey Johnson gets him right back. A nice pass for Johnson, getting back around the factory Honda. Now they get down the bottom. This will be the completion of the first lap. This is your battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth. Here was the first pass, David.
Fonseca just down the inside going, this is mine, belongs to me. I don't care about you. I don't care if I hit your front wheel and knock you down. This is over. I got to go forward. I got to catch the leaders. And it just didn't last. Casey Johnson is fighting right now. And like I said, the track is kind of favors everybody. There's not a lot of real technical stuff to separate the very best riders, the very technical riders from the rest. And Johnson's just putting in a great early part of this moto right now, and Fonseca cannot break free from him.
Now they switch sides, and this time Fonseca will swing around. And you'll notice that Michael Byrne has passed Brandon Jesseman to move into sixth place. So Fonseca's fourth, Johnson is fifth, Michael Byrne is sixth, and Jesseman takes him right back before the sky shot.
While these guys are battling, you can see they got their sights set on third place right there. Eric Sorby, Reed, and Stewart have checked out from this battle, and it looks like Reed may be starting to gain just a little bit on Stewart.
Back up the side of the wall. You can hear that four-stroke plowing this New York dirt, working its way up. There goes Sorby, and now Fonseca and Johnson are trading that spot again. Fonseca cannot shake the Plano Honda. There goes Reed. Next will be Sorby. And then Fonseca does get him. Oh, and Casey Johnson hits a hay bale, and just like that, what a cruel track Unadilla can be, as we've seen time and again. He just gets a little squirrely coming off the side of the track, takes a hay bale, and down goes Johnson. Another rider almost got him, and that looked like Travis Preston.
Well, that's just going to ruin the moto now. He'll be last before he gets going, and his clutch lever's bent clear up in the air. He just cut that a little bit too tight. He squared it to try to get to the inside, to stay out of the line of Fonseca, try to set something up going to the next corner. Lucky he's okay, but that could have been a lot worse. He could have skewered himself on one of those stakes right there, and you can see the subframe, the fender, it's all, that bike is done.
So Casey Johnson ruins a good start coming up out of the wall. It remains Stewart, Reed, Sorby, and Fonseca when we return. Speedworld's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. And by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. Rejoining the battle for third, this is Frenchman Eric Sorby leading the Honda of Costa Rica's Ernesto Fonseca. 4 countries represented in the top 4 right now, and an American, James Stewart, leads them all. Australia's Chad Reed second, and now Fonseca trying to make a pass on the inside, and right where he passed Casey Johnson, he makes another move, and this time on Sorby.
That was pretty close. He had to jump off that ledge and just land handlebar to handlebar.
And Sorby holds it on the outside to make the pass right back.
When Sorby's on, man, he is fast. You know, he's had a lot of weird finishes, and it's hard to say why he's been so inconsistent in this series for sure, but after watching what he did in Supercross, I thought outdoors he was going to be good. Mitch Payton said, wait till you see him outdoors, he's even faster. Look at that. Fonseca jumps right down that jump, and he had to fade out there. He didn't necessarily want to move over there. His momentum carried him there. These guys were hand guard to hand guard right there, wide open in third, fourth gear on those 125s. And it looks like Fonseca has him, but Sorby just fights back. He has been so aggressive in this first moto so far. I don't know if it's the track that's inspired him or some inconsistent rides in this series that's got him fired up and wanting to go. Maybe because Jesseman's catching up, he doesn't want to lose another spot. But either way, it's making for some great racing.
They're going inside out again. We should mention this is like Chad Reed and James Stewart. This is also Eric Sorby's first visit. So 3 newcomers to Unadilla, 1, 2, and 3. Forget about the tradition. It's just the fastest guys out there today.
Guys that want it the most.
Sorby down in the bottom. Fonseca on the inside. You can see Sorby just launch out of there like he's Carmichael on a 250, but he went a little too far this time. Fonseca comes back in, and right before they get to the mechanics area, Fonseca passes up into third, and now Jesseman is starting to apply the pressure to the 917 Kawasaki.
Every time I watch Sorby when he's on like this and really riding well, if he could just pick his places a little bit better to be aggressive, and it would be a lot more efficient. There's times when he goes just a little bit too, if there's such a thing as going too fast and losing a little time, and he does that here and there.
Right there we saw just briefly. Now this is when Fonseca made probably the 5th pass on Sorby.
Well, Sorby could tell that was happening. He just cuts right back to the inside. Fonseca tries to cover it. He's leaning in there so much he gets a little sideways, but beautiful move by Sorby. Look at this. That's a photo right there. Laying it into that berm, dragging the handguard almost. And Jesseman's back there going, okay, let me wait till these guys cool off before I try to do anything, because they're using up the whole racetrack. And that was right after Sorby flew out of the gravity cavity, maybe a little bit too far, and wrecked his rhythm slightly, and Fonseca was all over that on the inside and made a good, nice, smooth pass.
Back up front, James Stewart. We haven't seen a lot of Bubba because he has pretty much been riding by himself ever since he pulled that hole shot, getting ready to drop around in front of the mechanics area. And there you see big James Stewart. He is watching his son go, and he's getting jiggy with it. Let's go down to Cameron.
James, your boy just went by, obviously way out in the lead, but we always see you giving him some signals. I just wondered if you could tell us what the signals mean.
I always told James to get him a song, and I just demonstrating to get the boogie.
He seems loose and fluid out there today.
Al, we're trying our best right now.
Right on, we'll see how it ends up.
All right, thanks.
I love this family. You know, look how into it he is. He doesn't care who's watching, man. He's out there just busting moves right next to the track on camera. He doesn't care. Whatever it takes so his son can be in the right frame of mind and win these races. That's what it takes. That's what he'll do.
You know, you see James before the race, he's got his headset on, listening to music. And I tell you, he is boogieing today here at Unadilla. Now back to the bow for third. Fonseca still holding it, and Sorby being very stubborn, hasn't given up yet. They come down off the plunge, down into the fast section. That's where Fonseca's made a couple good passes. There's Sorby, and then here comes Jesseman. He's been hanging back, riding in 5th, and it looks like he is going to start putting some pressure on Sorby up around the outside, a little high off that. Now he's got the inside going in here, and he's going to go out and put a little block pass in. Now here comes Sorby right back. Puts his own little elbow out there, not too much, just enough to get him out of the way, up over the sky shot, and now it's a horsepower battle, David.
Well, I talked about using your head and being a little bit smart and picking your spots. Jesseman knew that Sorby was coming back, and he's like, you know what, I'm not going to get in a contest with this kid. He can have it right back. I'll get him eventually, and he does.
Down off the wall they come. Now Sorby trying to go outside. Jesseman sticks that inside berm, and Sorby will not have a chance to pass him back, and he's already back up on, he's already up to Fonseca's rear wheel.
Now you see that Sorby went all the way wide in that corner. When you watch a guy that tries this hard, I mean, you can see the effort he's putting into this. He's riding his heart out right now, and every once in a while he'll just he'll make a decision or take a line somewhere, and it costs him time. It makes him have to try even harder.
Fonseca down around the front of the announcer's tower, up onto the top of the hill. Jesseman getting ready to swing inside now. Looks like he's going to make an attempted pass, and that was clean, David.
Looked like he shot out of there like he was on a 250. He just hooked up into that berm just right. The balance was there. He's on the gas. And Fonseca's probably wondering, man, I thought that was Sorby back there. Those guys switched positions and caught him really quick, caught him off guard.
And now Jesseman moves into third as they come around the mechanics area. Fonseca tries an inside line, gets a little close, maybe pop Jesseman's wheel out right there.
He learned that from Mike Brown last year. Brown shoved him out there into the weeds. He was trying to give a little bit of it back.
Got to give a little more if you want to make it happen. Let's watch that pass Jesseman made on Fonseca.
Well, Fonseca's not going into the corner in a position where he can take that line. Jesseman's coming from the outside, just got right into that berm, hooked up perfect. There's not a lot of a berm there, but just enough of a bank where he was able to hook up good. And then Fonseca right in front of his mechanics going, hey, man, I'm trying. It's just Jesseman's on the gas right now. He caught me by surprise, but look, I'm ready to give somebody a wheel and stay in the fight. Don't give up on me yet.
They're both lucky they didn't go down there. Now James Stewart's out front. Cameron Steele's with his mechanic in the pit area.
Jeremy, would seem with Chad Reed catching up to Bubba that maybe Bubba's let off the pace a little bit.
Yeah, he was doing 214s earlier, and Bubba's doing 217s now, so obviously he's slowing down for something. I can't really tell why, but I don't know if he's got arm pump or something's wrong. I can't really tell yet.
Is it something he can pick up the pace, or is Chad going to run him down here?
It looks like he's getting close, but I know he'll give him a fight as much as he can, so we'll kind of see what happens.
David Bailey, a chink in the armor for Bubba?
Well, maybe, because Chad is coming, and I don't see James. He actually looks a little bit off. He's hitting some bumps funny, and I have not seen a weakness in him so far in this National Series.
When we come back, the battle is on. Chad Reed is reeling in Bubba Stewart. Welcome back to Unadilla, and the battle is raging. Chad Reed has gotten a hook into James Stewart here in the first 125 moto. They drop down into gravity cavity. Stewart takes a look over his shoulder. He is not going 100%. Now he's almost stopped. David, he's just giving him the lead.
Chad Reed must be like, what the?
James Stewart slowed down before the mechanics here. He looked over. He does not give his mechanic a signal. Cannot tell if something is wrong with that bike, but David, he surrendered the lead, and now he's back in second place.
Well, we'll see what happens. It looks like he flew through that little S-turn section. It looks like he just wants to race.
And right there goes Stewart on the inside, and once again he shoots right back into the lead. A game of cat and mouse for the lead. James Stewart slows down, gives Reed the lead, and then takes it right back. What a cruel rookie this kid is. And here comes Reed back on the inside, and Stewart gets out of the corner quicker, down off the plunge. You can hear the crowd roaring. Let's take a look at what happened again.
Stewart's just going, go ahead, you're bad. All I hear about is how you're going to beat me if you get a start. So they're way ahead of third right now. Maybe Stewart's just going, go ahead, we'll see. But that's it. You know what? That can be looked at as cocky. That can be looked at as condescending. You know what? This is racing. This is a war. And this kid is just getting in the head more than ever of Chad Reed. And if he can beat him in this race and pull away, and it's still the first moto, he's really taking chances here with moves like that. If he beats him, Reed will never beat Stewart again.
Well, let's go back to Cameron with Jeremy Albrecht.
J-Mo and the big grin. Everybody at home wants to know what the heck's going on out here right now.
I'm wondering the same thing. It looked like he kind of slowed down, looked over, let him go by, followed him for half a lap, passed him back, and he's back riding. I don't know what's up.
Now, Bubba actually looked like he totally let up when Chad came up on him. Didn't give any race. He just let him by, and it looked like, you know, maybe Chad would take off. Less than half a lap later.
Yeah, I know. I never seen nothing like it. I'm kind of curious myself. I can't wait to get in there and find out what happened.
Think it could be a mental game?
That's what it looked like to me, but I never seen such a thing.
Unbelievable. What a fitting place for James Stewart to take a chapter out of Bob Hanna's playbook than right here at Unadilla. That's the kind of stuff the Hurricane used to do.
It is. Now, you know what? When you can back it up, go ahead. Use all the antics you want to use. Get in people's head and be cocky. If you can't back it up and it's all talk, in a bunch of games, then he just irritates people. You know, Roncada tried a little bit of that stuff with Carmichael in the 250 class, and he wasn't backing it up. It didn't fly. This is flying. I'll bet you Big James is going, son, you got some explaining to do. What's going on?
Wow, back to the battle for fourth. Sorby, actually, I take it back. That is Matt Walker. Matt Walker on the Denso Simple Green Kawasaki on the inside. He's passed his teammate Sorby, and now he's going after Fonseca up to the top of the wall on the inside. He's going to make that pass stick.
Nice move. He came out of nowhere and just caught these guys. Look at that. Sticks to the inside on the power. Walker, like Jesseman, has been joining the front and really showing signs that next year, man, in 125 Supercross and outdoors, he's going to be up front all the time. He's been a little bit less consistent than Jesseman, but lately here he's been picking it up and showing us that speed isn't the problem, just decision-making and consistency. So to get that wired, be able to maybe battle with this guy.
James Stewart, sensational first moto here at Unadilla. He is on the last lap. He is back in the lead. He is winning this game that he's playing with Chad Reed as he drops down into the bottom.
This is the biggest blow to this class.
On a track where Chad Reed was favored to win.
Yeah, you know, all I can figure is that he's going, I'm confident, I want to know. Oh, you know, what does Reed really have? And back there, you saw they had a big gap on third, and I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing, but I don't know if I'm giving him a little bit too much credit there or not. But if that is the case, then this kid is a lot more bad than I thought he was.
He's got a lap rider behind him right now as he comes up around the top of the hill. He will approach the wall one more time, drop down. James Stewart now all alone out front, and he is not going to slow down this time until he goes past that checkered flag. You just got a glimpse of Chad Reed. There goes Stewart up over the hill with Josh Woods, the lap rider behind him. One more corner to go, and we will get to find out from James Stewart himself what was happening. And David, I'd be interested to see what Chad Reed says too.
He's going to be confused and maybe demoralized when he finds out what's up.
The checkered flag for James Stewart, an unbelievable first moto here at Unadilla. Welcome back to Unadilla at the 8th round of the AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Nationals. There, J-Bone is finding out what happened. James Stewart slows down in the middle of the moto, lets Chad Reed by, and then proceeds to lay a whipping on the number 103 Yamaha. Stewart the winner, Reed second, Jesseman comes up to finish third, Matt Walker a solid ride for fourth. Now to get the inside story, let's go down to Cameron in the winner's circle.
James Stewart, your first trip to Unadilla, you win the first moto, but more important than that, what happened out there? It seemed like you slowed down and you basically let Chad Reed by and then right back by him. What was going on?
Well, I mean, I've been getting really good starts here lately, and everybody's been saying that Chad Reed can beat me straight up, and I just wanted to prove to everybody that he can't do it. I let him by, and then unfortunately my way behind, I was having a good time out there.
So you just kind of relaxed, let him catch up, and then threw the race back at him?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't worried. I mean, my physical condition is awesome, and wasn't worried about it.
That's got to be one of the biggest mental games I've ever seen in any motorsport.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm comfortable in my speed, and I know I can go the distance, so I wasn't worried about it if he called me.
Right on, congratulations. We'll see you in Moto 2.
You guys were running about the same lap.
Well, that is indeed what happened, David Bailey. He decided to throw a very early knockout punch at Chad Reed. Let's go back to Cameron. He's with our runner-up.
Chad, everybody's been saying that you can catch James Stewart. You proved in that moto, you caught up to him. Do you think there was any kind of tactics going on out there, or was it just great racing?
Yeah, well, I think it was some tactics going on, but, you know, I felt confident. I was running the same lap times, and, you know, I got off second out the start with him, and, you know, I just wanted to set him behind him, and then Eric Solby passed me and kind of messed me up a little bit, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but, you know, I'm just happy to put my Yamaha Troy and Yamaha bike up here, parts of them in helmet or Smith goggles and done up tires. Just things haven't been going great lately. I just got to get it back on the track and go after this thing.
Well, you're a bit behind in the points, James Stewart. Obviously, you got to get in front of him. Were you surprised when you caught him that he didn't really give you a battle that first time by, and then were you even more surprised when he came back to race with you again less than half a lap later?
No, it didn't surprise me. He's not silly, and people that are involved with him are silly. I just got to ride my own race, and I've forgotten about the championship. I just want to go out there and win races, do the best I can, and just look forward to each race.
Congratulations on second place, Moto 1. We'll see you in Moto 2.
Thanks a lot.
The Chad Reed trying to recover from that rope-a-dope that James Stewart just put on him. Upcoming 125 races. For more information, log on to usmotocross.com for the Unadilla dodgeball, street hockey, fans, 3 guys still on the tech tip, and 1 unbelievable motocross track. For more on that, let's go back down to Cameron Steele.
Well, you guys, I'm down here on the famous Unadilla track on the dirt. Well, as you might see here, it's not just dirt, it's rocks. Tons of guys are running handguards, extra skid plates, double wall pipes, and this is why. Look how big these rocks are. When you're following a rider, the roost hurts, and this is also going to hurt your motorcycle. This place is famous for breaking fingers. Hopefully no one here today has to go through that, but I'll tell you what, I would not want to have to follow another motorcycle through these rocks.
And not to mention the ruts that you see there behind our Suzuki starting lineup. David, how does Chad Reed answer James Stewart in this moto?
I think he just has to get pretty mad and realize what just happened to him. And if he doesn't answer this in this moto and lets that go on a little bit, then James is going to laugh at these guys the same way Carmichael laughs at the 250 guys and know he has them all beat.
The card is about to go sideways here for the second 125 moto. Can Chad Reed avenge himself? He's had the entire intermission to think about what James Stewart did that first moto. The gate is now down. Here they come right up the middle. It's going to be, it looks like a Honda. No, it's James Stewart again, and just like that, he reasserts himself out front. Fonseca is second, and Jesseman comes up on the inside. Buddy Hinton is in fourth, Larry Ward's fifth, and it looks like Reed did not get a good start. He is nowhere to be seen in that lead pack.
He's mid-pack right now, and nothing will make him more angry than to not be able to get back after James Stewart in this moto and set things straight. To have to come in from another moto knowing that he got a bad start, rode hard, worked his way up, and Stewart still had things going his way out front will just infuriate him more.
Stewart out front, Jesseman is second, Larry Ward is in third, Fonseca is your fourth place rider. Wrapped around the corner, that's where the mechanics will be giving signals throughout the moto. Cannot wait to see what kind of signals J-Bone gives him this time. Antonez back in fifth, Michael Byrne is sixth. There is Matt Walker, and then it looks like the number 51 of Privateer Paul Curry.
And they've watered the track between the motos. You can see the guys from about fourth place on back really splattered. That's going to be terrible for Chad Reed trying to come up through the pack. He's not going to be able to see very well. He's going to go through all of his tear-offs a little quicker than normal. And this kid here is going to be able to stay nice and clean. After the mechanics area, he's jumping into that next left. Davey, it's just beautiful the way he just flies into the berm, feet up, and lands there. There he is on the inside. Kind of ducks his elbow underneath, looked like Fonseca right there, and just lays it into the corner for the whole shot. Reed somewhere in the middle there, or in no man's land, and nowhere near this kid who just put a whipping on him that first moto in the worst way.
Well, what we talk about in the 250 moto, how it's going to take a perfect race to beat the guy out front in the orange, Ricky Carmichael. Well, now James Stewart has switched colors. In fact, right there is Carmichael out there watching the young Floridian, probably looking at his future competition.
No doubt that he is looking at what's going on with these guys. There's always something to learn. Matt Walker working his way up through the pack again this moto. Getting by Fonseca right there, just catching him a little bit off guard. Fonseca, that's the second time I've seen him go through that corner and get sideways like that. He fights back, but...
And he makes the pass back, but I know you're saying he stuffed himself in that berm. Now they drop into gravity cavity, up out. It's whoever jumps furthest. Fonseca on the inside. It looks like he's going to hold him off. So Fonseca and Walker going back and forth, and once again, Walker gets a little far out there, but Fonseca's able to block him. Around the corner, that was Stewart, then Jesseman. Next is Larry Ward. Then we should be seeing Fonseca. Walker right behind him, your top five. Fairly close, but Chad Reed nowhere near the top five. Here's what happened to Fonseca the first time.
Comes into that long sweeping uphill right turn. He just kind of pauses a little bit too much right here. He hits that berm too square, and Walker was all over it, hit it a little earlier and had a nicer flow. Then he just kind of casually wanders out in front of Fonseca's line to block him. Ernesto didn't like it. Right back at you before they drop into the gravity cavity. Block passes him right back. He's been holding him off since then.
You mentioned how aggressive Walker's been. He finished third in the first moto at Kenworthy's last week, and then he blew up potential third overall on the last lap, and he made a mistake. Now Chad Reed finally rides into our picture. He is in 7th place. Not a very good start. He's worked his way up, but he's got to get through these guys before he will even be able to see Bubba Stewart. Now Walker going inside out. This is the move that Jesseman made on Fonseca, and this time he's able to hold him off. Maybe he learned something that first time.
He did. If you're going to go out there, you got to be aware of how big of a lead you have first. And he thought he had enough of a cushion, and you got to get back to the inside again and protect it. He's got to protect the inside again right here.
Back out of gravity cavity. And now check it out. Brandon Jesseman has moved up on James Stewart. I wonder if this is another one of Stewart's games.
And that was that left-hand corner that Stewart jumps up into. That's just beautiful to watch. The balance it takes right there is
and there
incredible.
goes Jesseman on the inside. That is a big surprise. Brandon Jesseman got out of the corner quicker than Stewart. Stewart looked like he kind of fumbled in the corner, and now here comes Stewart back up on the outside. Horsepower drag up the hill. They are getting ready to make the corner. They'll drop back down the plunge, and this is where we've seen passes all day long.
No games this time. I saw it when Stewart got past. He was looking down at the left side of his handlebar, though. Looks like he's coming right back.
And James Stewart goes right back past Jesseman. Now Jesseman's on the inside. Stewart comes outside close to the camera near the banners. A little smaller line off that jump, and he reestablishes himself again. And you're right, David, it didn't look like they were playing this time. Here comes Jesseman again. Sorry about that.
Several places on the racetrack where Stewart is purposely pre-jumping up over the tops of hills and being a little bit more creative here.
Down around the outside, Jesseman trying to get back around. Here was the pass.
Watch. It looks like Stewart looks down at his left side of his handlebar. See that?
Took his hand off.
Like maybe he's looking at the clutch, or he got a tear off on his hand or something. I don't know. Jesseman's like, I don't care what your problems are, dude. I got to get by you. I want to win a moto for a change. I'm sick of 2nd place. And then Stewart, with all that momentum coming from wide off the plunge, drops back to the inside and just makes a nice straight line right out in front of Jesseman to get the lead right back.
Brandon Jesseman has finished 2nd in a moto in each of the last 5 nationals, but he has yet to win the first moto of his career. Now he's coming back on the inside again, and he doesn't quite have the wheel or the power to get back in front of Stewart, but Jesseman hanging tough with the series points leader.
Look at that corner speed there from Stewart. Just opens up about a 5 bike length lead and just that one sweeper, but he's slow here and there, so something doesn't seem quite right.
Up out of gravity cavity, Jesseman with a long leap, gets up around the outside, almost alongside Stewart, but Stewart comes out of the corner faster. We will be back to see if Jesseman can get back around James Stewart. When the 2001 AMA 125 National Motocross Series reached the legendary hills of Unadilla, #1 Travis Pastrana seemed ready to seize control of the series over close rivals Grant Langston and Mike Brown. Pastrana, in only his 2nd year as a professional, looked invincible in the first moto, cruising to an easy win on an almost perfect Unadilla track, with Langston 2nd and Larry Ward 3rd. The 2nd moto was going much the same, as Pastrana opened a sizable lead on the rest of the pack. But with just half a lap to go, he made a catastrophic mistake, cross-riding a Suzuki on the approach to a fast jump and launching himself over the handlebars. The result was a concussion for the teenage phenom and the surprise gift of an overall win for Grant Langston, marking the first time a KTM has ever won a national at Unadilla. Although no one could have guessed it at the time, the suddenly star-crossed Pastrana has unfortunately not won a single race since that first 125 moto win at Unadilla on July 15, 2001.
his way around Ernesto Fonseca.
And now it's another Suzuki giving pursuit toward the win here as Brandon Jesseman chases after James Stewart a little ways back. Matt Walker is moved up into third place. He's taken over from the veteran Larry Ward. And Matt Walker might be making the fastest laps on the track right now.
He is matching the pace of Stewart and Jesseman out front around Ward. Ward putting in a nice ride. And look at Walker hit this berm. Bam, right in there. That's a good 2-foot-high powder berm right there. It stops some of his momentum, but he's determined to get that momentum back and keep the pressure on these guys. He wants to be one of the front runners. He's tired of being 4th, 5th, the next guy in line behind the good guys. He wants to be one of the front runners, and he's slowly inching up.
Matt Walker's in third, Larry Ward is in fourth, and that is Ernesto Fonseca behind him. And then Chad Reed enters the picture. That's Jesseman climbing the wall. There goes Walker. Now it's Ward. Then where did, Fonseca hit one of those same dust berms, David Bailey, you were talking about, and down goes Ernesto.
That's too bad. But you know what? These mistakes from Ernesto are because he's riding hard, because he's trying. He used to just kind of ride around and not even really get dirty, you know? I mean, I like to see him trying a little bit extra and making some mistakes here and there, because that will make him better. Not right now, but eventually we will see a more aggressive Ernesto Fonseca. And I think that's probably due to the fact that Carmichael is over there on that team supporting him, going, come on, man, you got to try a little bit harder and get squirrely sometimes.
Supporting him and cracking the whip, too. Now Chad Reed down into gravity cavity. Fonseca drops back a spot, and that puts Reed into the top 5. Finally, after a terrible start, he's got Larry Ward right in front of him, and then right there you caught a glimpse of Matt Walker, the third-place rider. As for Stewart and Jesseman, they are probably too far away at this point.
Yeah, but you know what? Reed has come back. No, he's not going to get at Stewart and have any say in that, what went on in that first moto. He's going to have to wait a week for that, but he's riding hard this moto. His lap times are good. The heck with the banners, I'll wheelie over those things.
Little shortcut.
But he is riding hard to be able to catch this pack from the lousy start he got. He is riding. I wish he would have got a start. So I would have liked to see what happened with those two.
He has to be seething after that first moto, but he's going to have to carry it for a week until he gets to make his first visit to Washougal. And once again, he and James Stewart will be going into that racetrack blind. Neither of them have raced there before. Down into the bottom, we go back a little ways to Michael Byrne, who's very quietly put together 2 top 10 rides. And now Reed is starting to put the pressure on Walker. Right there, rather I should say Larry Ward. Walker right in front of them. The battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th really tightening up. And there goes Reed on the inside, and he goes right past Larry Ward. Now they drag race up to the sky shot. Reed gives him a little look. Now they come wide open down into the bottom. Reed's got the inside shorter line, and he makes the pass. Larry Ward tries the outside. That was a neat pass by Chad Reed.
He came out of nowhere in the back to just come right across the line of Ward. Look at this. Boom, right across there. Ward, actually, Ward knew it was coming. He paused just for a second to make sure he didn't hit his rear wheel. Now watch the body English from Chad Reed. He's having a good time out there. Just gets all the way off the side of the bike, throws his back out and out towards Ward, going, all right, man, this is cool, and I got you.
Oh, man, I hope Paul Buckley's there with his camera. Another cover shot right there.
To the same power plants right there, that powerful 250F 4-stroke. But Reed had the better line on the inside and just closed Ward out at the top.
So Reed moves into 4th place. Now he's got to sneak up on Matt Walker down into the bottom. Ward is back into 5th. There you see Michael Byrne and whoa, and Larry Ward over the falls. Wow, Larry Ward, the 2nd rider to go down, coming up over the hill. It looked like he hit a rock or something, David Bailey, and right over the handlebars. And just like that, Danny Smith moves in, takes advantage, picks up 2 spots, 1 on the fallen Ward, 1 on Fonseca.
That ruined Fonseca's rhythm. He was lucky not to get collected in Ward's crash. He had to kind of stop his momentum and make a corner, and that just let these guys get right up on him and put the pressure on him. Kind of wrecked everything for him. Look at all the distance he lost now.
Smith trying to work on Michael Byrne. Danny Smith came out of nowhere. He must have gotten a bad start back there with Reed, and now he passes his way into 5th. In 1 lap, Danny Smith picks up 3 spots, but one of them was handed to him by Larry Ward going down, and now Michael Byrne on the inside is going to try and make a pass back, and he can't make that pass stick.
Danny riding excellent here in the later stages of this race. Now look at Ward. That looks like neutral to me. That's kind of like what we saw happen to Stefan Roncada back at Troy. Just the last-second surprise over the bars deal. I don't think there's a lip on the top of that thing that could throw him that far unless he hit neutral along with it. You can see a tear-off flapping on the left hand of Fonseca that could have also interrupted his concentration just slightly, and Danny Smith takes advantage, jumps into that inside berm and gets the spot. Does the same thing again to Michael Byrne, picking up another position here in the later stages of the race where he is strong. He is very fit, just like his teammate Jesseman, and he's a strong finisher, and he's proving it right now.
These guys in the 125 class fighting for every single spot, every point, and here comes Fonseca, jumps down in front of Michael Byrne. You can see the track rutting up, goes to the outside line. The factory Honda out-pulling the factory connection on. I think in that case, Ernesto just had a better line.
He was more aggressive. Byrne didn't jump off that drop-away jump and just gave it up.
When we come back, the race for the checkered flag. James Stewart leading Brandon Jesseman and Matt Walker at Unadilla. Speedworld's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. Back to the front of the pack, this is James Stewart, and he is on the final lap here at Unadilla Valley Sports Center. A perfect afternoon. He was led briefly by Reed in the first moto, briefly by Jesseman in the second moto. Now here comes Reed. He is caught up to the rear wheel of Matt Walker, and Chad Reed has finally started to assert himself, but David, he's run out of time.
He has. He might still be able to get Walker, but Walker is so motivated right now. He's going to either get third or crash trying. And that intensity right there between these two has just moved them up to the rear wheel almost of Brandon Jesseman, who's not that far away from Stewart. The top four are close right now.
There goes Stewart down into the bottom. Jesseman enters your screen, and there come Walker and Reed. Walker holds that inside line. He's not going to get Reed get by him right there. And Reed went a little far outside. That might have been his last chance, David.
Yeah, he went a little wide, and he just didn't get the run. He lost contact, and that's it. Stewart will get the win, but he wasn't nearly as impressive as he's been lately.
One last corner to go up over the jump, and James Stewart has won his 4th consecutive round of the 125 Nationals. That is a lapped rider. Here comes Jesseman, and Walker wins the drag race for 3rd over Chad Reed. Rounding out the top 5 in the second moto, the Blimpie Suzuki of Danny Smith. Fonseca is 6th, Buddy Antonez 7th, then Byrne, Travis Preston, and David Pingree round out the top 10. Let's go down to Cameron Steele with our winner, James Bubba Stewart.
Well, a pretty happy 16-year-old James Stewart going 1-1 his first trip to Unadilla. And James, the first thing I want to ask you is in moto number 1, you let the race come back to you with Chad Reed. Is that the same thing that happened with Brandon Jesseman? Did you let him come back up to you?
No, not the first race. I mean, Chad was just, I wanted to battle with him. And that second one, my clutch went out, so I didn't have any clutch. So in the corner, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So, you know, definitely not. I mean, I just wanted to go out there and win that second moto. I proved my point in the first one. And, you know, like I said, my clutch went out, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Well, this is one track you've never raced on before, tons of history. How stoked are you just to come out here and win the first time?
I'm pumped. I mean, my Kawasaki's working awesome out here. This track here at Unadilla, I think it's the funnest track of the year. And it's really rocking. It got real rough, and but I mean, I showed him I can do it.
Right on. Well, James Stewart, 4 overalls in a row, looking pretty good and headed towards that championship at the end of the year.
Well, Stewart, of course, your overall winner, Brandon Jesseman, 2nd overall for the 3rd race in a row. Chad Reed, Matt Walker, and Danny Smith rounding out the top 5. Let's go back down to Cameron with our runner-up and his team manager, the legendary Roger DeCoster.
Well, Brandon Jesseman, a 2nd in moto number 2, 2nd overall. Standing here with Roger DeCoster. You guys seem pretty happy with your performance today.
Yes, I mean, my Suzuki ran great, long climb Michelin tires. I mean, I can't say enough about my bike and Roger. They work so hard on it. It's like unbelievable the kind of work they do to these bikes. But, I mean, I got a 2nd. It's not too bad, but I definitely feel I should be up there on the top of the podium.
Well, definitely everybody wants to be on the top of the podium. podium. Roger DeCoster, a legend, you've ridden Unadilla. What's it like to stand on the sidelines and watch one of your team riders battle it out for, you know, possible overall win?
Well, it's the next best thing to racing yourself, you know, when you have one of you guys competing and is in there for the hunt, for the win. And, you know, and I'm happy with Brandon because he's getting closer every week. And we've been doing a lot of work on the bike. Michelin has worked a lot, and everybody is working hard. Builds pipes and all that, you know, and I think our bike is very competitive now, and I think we can still make it a little bit better, and hopefully we can beat Bubba sometime before the end of the season here.
Well, Bubba, I understand, had a problem with his clutch, Brandon. You feel like you're so close. Is there something you can do to get to that next spot on the podium?
Well, I just got to keep riding, just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm getting better. It's going to come sooner or later, just hopefully sooner than later.
Right on. Congratulations on a second place today, guys.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, David Bailey, an incredible day of racing here at Unadilla. Was that it? Was that James Stewart's knockout punch?
I believe it was. With a 65-point lead and in everyone's heads the way he is now, I think he feels like he's over the hump and he can win every moto from here on out.
He's got 4 nationals to go, 65 points clear of Chad Reed. Can James Stewart win this 125 national championship? For David Bailey and Cameron Steele, I'm Davey Coombs saying so long, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.